What up, guys? It's Casey Israel again, and this is a heads up video about if you want to be a trailer mechanic, a diesel mechanic, or even any type of mechanic or anything in the field like a trade at all. Like if you want to be anything related to tools. So there's people that, like, I can understand. You start brand new. Like, there's a kid that works with me. He's brand new. He doesn't have a lot of tools. I'm gonna understand that, but if you're not gonna put effort into buying your own stuff, and you're just gonna keep borrowing people's tools all the time, and you're making no effort to buy tools. I'm like, I don't know if he's actually making any effort or not, because I pretty much bought a ton of my own tools for years, and not only that, I had some of my dad's tools, especially after he passed. But there's, and I can understand about his situation, but I hope he knows that if he wants to stay in this field, that he needs to. And I'm not saying he has to fork down hundreds and hundreds of dollars immediately. I'm talking about you can go to Harbor Freight and you can buy like $20 to $40 of tools. And I started with a plastic toolbox that it was big, but it was plastic, and you just pull tools out until you get whatever tool you need, to like a little bigger one like a Craftsman, where it had like 3 drawers and the top come open. Then I bought a bigger version of that. And then I bought what's funny, I paid $20 for this toolbox, but it used to be a hospital toolbox, and I still actually have that with me. But yeah, I still have that. But I feel like if you're not making... And then from that, I had that set up for a little bit, probably a couple years, to the last job. And then and then when my dad passed, I had his Craftsman boxes. So, and then I still had that hospital toolbox still. And then one of the last job I was at in Pennsylvania before I moved, that I finally moved on to a real size toolbox, a mechanic's real toolbox. There's a Craftsman one that I got through Sears on their loan payment, and this is just right before, like a few years before they went under. But and I still have those boxes, and I have them fully paid off now. But then I actually went and I traded before I lost my wife and moved. I actually upgraded from those boxes, and I'll show you pictures of some of the toolboxes I had. From that to a Maxmiser, yeah. It was from an old guy that I used to work with, and he wanted a newer and probably slightly bigger Maximizer. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I always want something that I could put stuff on top. You know, a place where I can write my stories, what I need to, what I did, and put tools and chargers where I can put my phone, and I can put a radio. I like that. But when my wife passed and I decided to want to come back home, got my old toolbox back. It's a long story, but I've finally paid that off again it's a long story, like I said, but I've finally have not only that one paid off, and now the job I was before this one, I was there for almost 3 years. Just shy one month of 3 years. And I was getting sick of, walking across the shop just to get tools every once in a while. So I got this roll-around toolbox from Sears, but I didn't like it too much because I got it cheap because it was like one of the clearance ones. But the thing is, it wasn't, I guess I could have made it where it could lock up, but I was not happy with it. So I sold that off to someone. And it kept on falling over, and to one point I actually kicked it because it just kept on falling over. I bought one that almost looked like the one I have now as my roll-around box that I really work out all the time. But it was the one before that. I had one from Harbor Freight, one of those U.S. Generals. And I liked it. It was just when I was on this, not Cornwell, a Mack truck. He had a cool roll-around box that I have now, and I've got that paid off. And I like it because it's deeper. I can put pry bars all through it, and I can put a bunch of stuff in there in the top and have like 5 drawers. And I can roll that thing to the job I'm doing. I put most of my tools that I use all the time and put more of the tools that I don't use that often in my 2 black Craftsman boxes. But, I mean, you stay in this trade, you evolve what you get, and it's best just to put money into what you do. So, I mean, there's some people they don't care. There's been mechanics really shady where, like, one guy I used to work with, he had just a bucket, and he would borrow my tools, and they would never put it back. I had to go through his fucking bucket and pull my tools back out. And then there'd be kids. It's mainly at my old job, the one previous. They would hire new guys that start as part guys, and then they'd make them as a mechanic. But they wouldn't put money into getting their own stuff, and they would want to borrow stuff from you all the damn time. And then mechanics, a lot of times mechanics don't like people borrow tools. If I feel like you're gonna return my tools, if I know where you are, and especially the big thing is if you ask, hey, can I borrow this? I have no problem. But if you go in my toolbox and you do it without asking, that's an asshole move right there. So, but, yeah, it's just an asshole move if you don't go into people's, if you go into people's toolbox without asking. But a lot of times I don't mind people borrow my tools, because a lot of times there's going to be a tool that I don't have that I need to borrow. So not everyone is going to have all the tools. So, but like right now, currently at my job, that I trust the mechanics more than other jobs I ever been at. Now it's just mainly just, I hate when I see a driver walking around, and I seen drivers go into people's boxes, and they done that to me too. Like there was about a year and a half ago, there was a truck driver. I was working outside and had my roll around, and he's pacing back and forth. Eventually, I saw him glance in, and then at one point, I saw the guy actually reached in my box. And like, I had the right to be extremely upset, and he called him out. All I did was like, that's a no-no, you don't do that. Because I want to be professional. I didn't want to fly off the handle, but I had every right to do that though. But because I paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But for all those tools and the toolboxes. But yeah, if I'm gonna give any advice, just make an effort that show mechanics that you're trying to buy your own tools, that you're not just gonna borrow people's tools all the time. Like, that's one of the ways you can earn respect that way. So, I thank you, and I'll show you some pictures of my boxes I had in the past. I should still have some somewhere, but I thank you, and I'll talk to you guys later.